Fruitarian on a Budget. We got a box of bananas. Let's try to make at least 2,500 calorie smoothie, if not 3,000 calories. Here we go. Get some bananas. These look good. Okay, so we're asking AI for suggestions. I asked it, I'm making a 3,000 calorie banana smoothie using white sugar and orange juice as ingredients. How many bananas to use and how much sugar or oranges I need to achieve this goal? And it gave me 3 options. Option 1, banana dominant, kind of like Arnold ehret style, fruit heavy. 20 bananas, 150 grams of sugar, and 700 mils of orange juice. Option 2, higher sugar, fewer bananas. That's 15 bananas, 250 grams of sugar, and a liter of orange juice. Or option 3, 12 bananas, 350 grams of sugar, and 800 mils of orange juice. For a practical recommendation, based on your high carb preference, the sweet spot would be 18 to 20 bananas, 200 grams of sugar, and 700 mils to a liter of orange juice. This keeps good potassium from bananas, glucose, fructose mix from sugar, citric acid and enzymes from oranges, in a manageable volume. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. All right, so we're gonna need more bananas. These ones look good. And again, if anyone has suggestions on how I can keep these guys safe, just let me know in the comments. Because I do think that the bottom bananas will bruise if I leave them like this. Maybe I should spread them on the floor or something. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, this should be good. Alrighty, here's the baseline ingredients we will be using. The sugar, pasteurized orange juice for that extra budget saving, and we've got our 19 bananas. These will hopefully go into this pot, and I will blend them. And I will be using a blender in the future. Fruitarian on a budget, so no excuses. Let's get it done. All right, here we go. We're potassium maxing. What are the benefits of potassium? Ideally, the human diet should be a higher potassium to sodium ratio. And since I am going on a no salt streak, aiming for 120 days so that all my red blood cells get renewed. Since the average lifespan of a red blood cell is 120 days, if I keep up the diet and don't have any salt or oil, which will dehydrate the red blood cell and also clog them together, usually fats and oils tend to make your blood sluggish. And because the red blood cell has no way to regenerate itself, this is a good process of renewal, is to wait for them to die off and the new ones will be born. It's kind of like washing myself with new blood, right? I have gone on long streaks of no salt, no added salt, but nowhere near 4 months or 120 days. So that's my new goal. And according to the research, I should feel like a new person. I should be a new person because I will have new blood flowing through me. Similar to the alchemical process of the alchemists of old. All the ancient mystery schools from the Pythagoreans and ancient Egypt, and I would say even the Essenes. Research the Essenes. It's like a Christian sect that pretty much follows a high carb, low fat diet, and they prioritize fruits and veggies. And they are into fasting and enemas. So that will be an interesting experience. The enema can be seen as a internal baptism, according to this Essene gospel. People claim it's forged and fake, but if you study and read and link it to other non-canon texts like the Book of Enoch, there's also a reason why these books were left out of the main canon. And again, the Bible has been translated from Greek, from Aramaic. People debate whether ancient Hebrew was even a language, but that's another topic for another video. So I don't know, I'm just connecting the dots, discerning, trying out new experiences. I have done like juice fasts in the past, but I was sure that I wasn't getting enough calories because I was coming from a fasting-based lifestyle. So my metabolism must have been tank. There were points where I was probably getting maybe 1,200 calories every day if I was lucky. I was into one meal a day, and yeah, just not ideal. Okay, so we're getting full over here. That's a whole pot, so we're gonna have to squeeze using our fists and hands. Nice. Okay, can probably fit some more in there. Just don't want this little banana thing. All right. These are good bananas. Okay, so maybe adding a base layer of sugar. All right, how would we weigh it? We're gonna have to weigh this. Okay, so we're gonna add some sugar. 130, 140. All right, let's go for 250. That's 1,000 calories just on sugar. On the dot, on the money, baby. Let's go. Alrighty. Just adding a little base layer of sugar. If this was salt, I'm not sure I would survive. Okay, now we're gonna add a base layer of OJ. The pasteurized juice makes it more affordable, right? If I was using, and I'm not gonna use the whole thing, I just wanna try to get that little dilution of the sugar. Which, this orange juice has added sugar to it. Vitamin C and citric acids, water. So I guess that looks enough. I'm gonna try to squeeze the rest of the bananas in there. So there were 19 bananas. If I quit at 15 or 18, that should still be enough. All right, here we go. And these are not the ripest bananas, but we'll make do. They are pretty sweet, I'll give them that. That's why I bought them, because I looked at them and I can kind of spot a good banana. These look really good. So for all the people that doubt that I can smash 3,000 calories in one day, I'm going to try to prove the haters wrong and do 3,000 calories in one meal. And again, I'm sure in 3 to 4 hours from now I'm going to get hungry again. So this won't be the only thing that I have today. Right, so we're almost there. This is going to be interesting. And we're going to try to calculate how many macros, how much nutrients, how much everything is in here. Right, so 18. I think I'll top it off at 18. That was the sweet spot recommendation from AI, so I'm going to give AI credit. Alrighty. Alright. So 18 bananas, 1 banana left. We're on a budget, so we're going to have to stash it. I've got maybe 400 mils of OJ, and I will add some water to this. Making a banana soup. And I plan on getting a blender, but I doubt an average size blender would be able to accommodate for this, so let's see. All right. Oh wow, very creamy already. I think we hit the jackpot with these bananas. And actually the bananas, I made a mistake. The bananas were not, the whole box was not $30. That was $30 including a $4 bag of potatoes and a $1 bunch of cilantro. So that was less than $30. Maybe 23, 24 bucks. All right, it's looking good. I'm already salivating over this. So to all the people that failed Fruitarian and they blame the Fruitarian, they're not eating as much as we are. And plus, I had to transition. I do believe at the end of the day that fruits is the best source of food for humans. That was our natural design. But because we come from a society that promotes kind of under eating and people don't get enough calories and they are all on stimulants and whatnot, because I have transitioned to my body being able to handle 4,000 calories plus of high carbohydrate, low fat foods, my body's just going to absorb this like it's nothing. But for somebody who is coming off keto or carnivore or fasting and they're going to try to emulate this, your metabolism is not ready for this. Please do not try this at home. This is my experience. This is an experiment, right? I am a trained professional. My nickname is the Carb King for a reason. Beautiful. That looks really good. Some banana soup, sir. Oh. Oh wow. I hit the spot right there. Banana heaven. This fruitarian diet ain't so bad after all. So voila, a massive pot of potatoes. This is the aftermath. Imagine I didn't use sugar. Imagine I was kind of orthorexic and, oh no, sugar's a poison. No, no, no. You have to get the sun life energy from the fruit only. Like, the sun life energy is the sugar, guys. That's what photosynthesis is. The plant turns sunlight energy into sugars and starches so that we can consume them. There's sugar and starch in the bananas, and I'm just adding some more sugar to it, some more sunlight crystals to the banana, which was picked early and, it wasn't ripe. So that's why I do it. And a lot of fruitarians also are against pasteurized juice because pasteurized juice is devoid of life force energy. Come on, guys. Like, I'm on a budget. If I had to do a liter of OJ freshly squeezed, my budget will be eaten like in a few days or a few meals. So keep it realistic, keep it simple, and let's get rid of the dogma, shall we? And I'm going to be drinking it off the classic pitcher. It will serve as a measurement because about that much is a liter. So we'll see how many liters I can chug down. All right. Near perfect hand-eye coordination. I want to see the carnivores do that. All right, first pitcher. Let's put it down the hatch. All right, here we go. And I've already had more than a liter of water today, so cheers. Let's taste test. Oh, wow. It's chunky. It's like a cake mix. I got it just right, thanks to AI. This is beautiful. So rich and creamy. And great texture. We're gonna have a field day with this one. It's gonna be a cake walk, or a walk in the park. Ah. You gotta chew your food, flavor it. It's just going down so nice. And it doesn't even taste that sweet. So I would be struggling to get enough sugar or calories if I was completely raw and, very dogmatic about it. That's why I want to include the cooked food, or cooked fruits, jams, juices. Amazing. I'm trying to recreate Thailand fruit or tropical fruit. I'm sure the ladyfinger bananas. Oh, if I could have my hand on some ladyfinger bananas, then I wouldn't need to add sugar. You know what I mean? Or if I had a whole box of amazing mangoes, why would you add sugar to that? So when people say, oh, you're addicted to sugar. No, buddy, I'm addicted to good quality fruit. Because that happens to be our natural design. You can disagree with me. You know, you can think that we were hyper carnivores and, you know, the Neanderthals and booga 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 booga. That's like so primitive, man. And people call it a primal diet. Like, do you want to go back to being a beast? I'm into the higher philosophies, right, guys? I'm into channeling the higher frequencies, man. It's all right. We're gonna be okay. Mm. I better eat it quick before it oxidizes. I'm gonna lose some nutrients. Mm. Mm. Hold on. Hello? Oh, hi, Lauren. How's Thailand? Yeah, not too bad. I'm just smashing some fruit down. What about you? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, people are wild, man. Your comment sections go wild. That's all right. Spreading the good message. Keep doing what you're doing, yeah. And bring us some seeds, or let's see if you can find some good fruits on your expedition. All right. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay. Women. You know, they keep calling me on my banana phone. Mmm. Wow. So good. Okay, time for seconds. Second pitcher. Let's go. Before it oxidizes. Oh, maybe. Almost there, guys. Just a little bit left. Mm. I can already feel the enzymes, the life force energy, the sun crystals. All right, cheers. Okay, I did 18 bananas plus 250 grams of sugar plus, all right, I want to say 300 mils. 300 mils of OJ. Please estimate macros and micros. Thank you. All right. So 18 bananas, which is 18 times 105, equals 1,900 calories just from the bananas. Sugar, 250 grams. That's 1,000 calories. OJ, 300 mils. That's around 135 calories. Total, 3,025 calories, right on target. Macronutrients, total carbohydrates, 486 grams from the bananas. Sugar, 250 grams. OJ, 27 grams. That's a total of 760 grams of carbs. Sugar composition, White sugar is sucrose, which equals 50% glucose, 50% fructose. So from the sugar alone, 125 grams of glucose, 125 grams of fructose. Bananas and OJ add a mix of glucose, fructose, and small starch. Wow. Protein, 23 grams from the bananas. OJ, 2 grams. So total of 25 grams of protein. Fat, total fat, 5 grams of fat. Extremely low fat, high carb. Micronutrients, here we go. Lightning bolt emoji. Potassium, 7,500 milligrams of potassium. OJ, 600 milligrams. That's more than 8,000 milligrams of potassium. That's very high, over twice the daily requirement. Vitamin C, total 360 milligrams. Strong antioxidant load. Excuse me, magnesium, 520 milligrams of magnesium. Excellent for muscle relaxation. Vitamin B6, well above the recommended daily allowance, so 2.3 milligrams. Folate, 140 milligrams, micrograms. Total, 215 micrograms of folate. Sodium, very low, probably under 30 milligrams total. Metabolic impact, 99% carbohydrate, 0.7% of fat, very low protein, massive potassium load, high fructose, high glucose combo. Expected, strong insulin spike, rapid liver glycogen saturation, possible warmth / vasodilation, water retention, glycogen binds water. You likely stored 500 to 700 grams of glycogen if depleted. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. That's going to be tough to finish, but we'll try. All right, let's finish the rest. Might as well. No excuses. You're seeing it here firsthand. It's a thickie. It's a thick smoothie. I can still heat it up with a spoon. Wow. Really good. Now, if you try to replicate this and your metabolism is not as efficient as somebody who's been doing it for 6 years, then you might run into some problems, right? I don't know. Like, you're going to put on weight and then blame it on this lifestyle. Whereas you have to understand that I slowly built up to this. When I first started, I wasn't doing 250 grams of sugar added. I had to build it up slowly. At the beginning, if you're coming from under eating or not having enough carbs, then maybe 50 grams is too much. Like, an oral glucose tolerance test requires you to have 75 grams of glucose. And that's to see if people are diabetic. That's the gold standard test. But 75 grams of glucose for me is like, meh. You know, I would be hungry 2 hours later. Not even. Are we still recording? We are. The potassium. It's too much potassium. Oh wow. Yeah, starting to stretch that stomach a little bit, but because this is such high water content, in a little bit, once I pee, then probably gonna get hungry again, you know? Ah, take it slow. Gotta take it slow. Mm. Love it. So if I was eating just bananas, and if I was just a fruitarian, man, that's gonna be a lot of bananas. Especially if you're not adding sugar. That's why it fails. This is why the fruitarian diet fails. Because people fail to realize that it's all about sugar at the end of the day. That's how you get nourishment. That's how everything gets nourishment. All these organisms, your cells run on sugar. The plants that's their currency. They're always storing sugar, and the mycelial networks in the roots, and they're kind of like giving sugar to each other, the trees and stuff. And I guess the reason why carnivorous animals, excuse me, they drink blood and stuff and they eat meat, they're trying to get the sugar that's inside of the animal. I find it very funny when people say sugar's a poison. It's everywhere. Then everything is poisonous. Then oxygen is poisonous. And if you claim that I have a sugar addiction, it's like, well, I also have an addiction to sleep. I can't stop sleeping every night. I can't stop breathing. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I might be wrong. You might be right. Who knows? We'll see in 10 years or whatever. Hmm. But how come there's no elderly people who are like, oh yeah, I've been carnivore? It's kind of like a unicorn. You don't see. I guess the maximum you could do carnivore for keto is like 7 years, and then you're gonna be like down in the trenches, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can find a longevity case of some 100-year-old man that's like, you know what? I only eat raw meat and I don't do sugar. A lot of these high longevity cases, it's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much what the Bible tells us, that the patriarchs reduced their lifespan. They used to live for 900 years and maybe 1,000 years. Who knows? And if people eating meat and living in a city and smoking can live up to 100 years, imagine our potential. We still don't know. There's documented events or documented cases of these Chinese Taoists. They live like 250 years, and all they eat is like goji berries, a little bit of rice, right? Mm. So that's a goal. And imagine how much knowledge, how much wisdom somebody that's 200 years. Imagine 1,000 years. It's like Gandalf and these wizards. That's the goal, man. Longevity. And imagine our children, because we were kind of compromised from birth. Our mothers were eating probably not the most ideal food, so our blood stock was built with meat and oil and salt. So imagine our children. The children they're gonna live longer than we are. So we're the first generation to break this cycle and to go like, you know what? I don't want to go down this death path and check out at 60. I want to go the longevity path and do the distance. Yeah. And if we can raise kids that are high carb, low fat, right? No oil, no salt. Still cooked food, right? Nothing wrong with cooked food. We're still all transitioning. It takes a few generations to kind of really break the cycle and then reveal the actual true fruitarians, so to speak. There's a quote in the Bible that says something about how the sins of the ancestors echo through the generations. So, yeah, that's some food for thought. Man, this is really like, oh, I'm so stuffed. Gotta down it. It's good though, it's good. Gotta take my time. Whew. More than the average daily intake of the average person in one meal. Guys, one meal. Still lean. I go for a run after. I've always been saying that, but then I end up not going because it gets rainy and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be buzzing off the walls. I might time lapse the rest. You guys get the picture. We're almost there, guys. Just gotta give it time. Give it time. Wow. Oh yeah, and I was researching like how much fiber there is. Total estimated fiber. 56 grams of fiber, almost from bananas. What this means, the recommended intake is 25 to 38 grams a day. You consumed twice the typical daily intake. Bananas contain soluble fiber, pectin, some resistant starch if less ripe, small insoluble fraction. 55 grams plus of fiber in one sitting can increase bowel movement volume, cause bloating if gut isn't adapted, increase fermentation in colon, feed microbiota heavily. Because it is fruit fiber and not grain bran, it's generally easier on digestion. I have definitely adapted to be able to perform these things, so start slowly. This is OG level. And I'm thinking of tapping out with that much, but might as well finish it, right? Just gotta give it time. So that's another thing about, funny that mentioned the gut microbiome. You know how salt is used as like to preserve things. Very little organisms can survive on a salt-heavy environment. So I think, in a way, a lot of meat eaters, they crave salt and they can't live without salt because you're putting a putrefied corpse, basically, into your body. So to counteract that and all the microbes that come with this putrefaction, they have to salt their food and eat a lot of salt so that it kills off these bad bacteria. Whereas if you're high carb, low fat, and you're trying to go no salt, then you're promoting the growth of good gut bacteria. There's like saccharolytic bacteria. These are like sugar-loving bacteria, right? And a lot of salt use can kill both good and bad bacteria. And maybe that's why people can stall and they're bouncing from this to that. Whereas it's like a garden. I've said this analogy before. We are planting a garden in our microbiome. And we have to feed, the flowers, the bees, and all of these organisms that love sweet things. So let's ask another question. Explain the types of gut flora and their physiology. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted to ask it. Saccharolytic and other types that thrive on high carb, low fat. Because there is if you put fat into your body, you're going to attract organisms that want to digest this fat. If you put protein into your body, you're going to attract organisms that want to digest this protein. So a high carb, low fat diet is really promoting, here we go. When you run on a high carb, low fat diet, your banana sugar smoothie approach, you selectively favor saccharolytic metabolism in the gut. Let's break it down. Saccharolytic bacteria, or carbohydrate fermenters, from saccaro equals sugar. These bacteria specialize in fermenting simple sugars, if they reach the colon, soluble fiber, resistant starch, oligosaccharides. What they do, they convert carbs into butyrate, propionate, acetate, small amounts of lactate and gases. These are called short-chain fatty acids. Bifidobacteria. Okay, contrast. Proteolytic bacteria, or protein fermenters. They thrive on excess protein, undigested amino acids, animal-heavy diets. They produce ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, phenols, putrefactive compounds. Why would you want putrefactive compounds? Oh, well, because more protein. Guys, come on! You're putting rotting corpses into your body. At least cook it, right? Don't do raw meat. At least cook it. But anyway, fat adaptive bacteria. Bile selects for biophilia, certain proteobacteria. What happens on a high carb, low fat long term? This generally leads to higher stool bulk, lower colonic pH, stronger gut barrier, more serotonin production, improved insulin sensitivity. Right. Okay, let's ask it an interesting question. I'm just really... Oh, man. Trying to make this go down. Take your time. Let's use our time to study. Is this a time lapse? No, still a video. All right. Impact of excess salt on kind of sterilizing of good gut bacteria. That's an interesting one. Good question. And the short answer is normal dietary salt does not sterilize your gut, but chronically high salt intake can shift microbial balance in measurable ways. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't sterilize. Of course, it doesn't sterilize the gut, but if you're eating heavy, salty meals, then a lot of these good bacteria are going to die off because that's just not their environment. There's no salt in fruits, or there's very little sodium, so there's a balance here. What high salt actually does, it alters gut immune signaling. Gut mucosal inflammation, right? Like if you put salt into your eyes, you're going to be burning and inflamed. So why would you want to put that into your body? And once you go low sodium for a very long time, your taste buds change. And once you reintroduce salt, it tastes kind of chemically. Hard to explain. Okay, it reduces certain beneficial species. Animal and human studies show how high salt diets can reduce lactobacillus species, some butyrate producing bacteria. These are saccharolytic fiber fermenting microbes. Loss of lactobacillus has been linked to increased blood pressure, increased inflammatory tone, increases gut permeability in excess. But this typically occurs with high salt and high fat Western diet, not in isolation, right? It's like salt is not the worst thing for you, but if you're on a path to health and wellness and, in alchemy, let's ask it this, in alchemy, salt is linked with like the body and the earth, and how it's like if you're full of salt, you can't really, it sounds kind of woo-woo, but you can't really access these higher dimensions or higher frequencies, Okay, so what do we want to ask it? Oh yeah, salt and alchemy. Salt and alchemy. How it weighs down consciousness, let's put it that way. Man, this smoothie. I'm like really full. But maybe in a little bit I can finish this while we're studying. Appreciate you guys for being here. Okay, now we're moving into symbolic physiology. When you're asking about salt and alchemy and how it weighs down consciousness, you're not really asking about sodium chloride as a mineral. You're asking about what salt represents. In classical Western alchemy, especially the system of Paracelsus, reality is composed of three principles: sulfur, or the soul, fire; mercury, which is the spirit or fluidity, consciousness; and salt is the body, crystallization, rigidity, matter. Salt is the principle of fixation, right? And this is very like when you have salt and soy sauce and all this stuff, it kind of, you fixated on this and you want to repeat it again and again and again. And this is what makes your spirit become solid. It's gravity, it's density, it's incarnation. How salt weighs down consciousness. This is symbolic, but it maps into physiology surprisingly well. Salt equals fixation in alchemy. Mercury, or the spirit, is volatile. It rises. Salt fixes it into matter. Too much salt, the consciousness becomes overly identified with body and density. You could translate that as heaviness, slowness, contraction, groundedness, material fixation. I experience this. Maybe that you're different, but I experience whenever I have salt with my rice, then it's kind of gluttonous, and it wants you to want more, and you can't stop. And then you want to move on to other things like soy sauce, and so this is my experience. You might disagree, but it's interesting nevertheless. Salt and water retention. This is a physical parallel. Physiologically, salt retains water. Water retention increases density. Increased density is equals to heaviness. There's a symbolic resonance. Consciousness feels less light and more embodied. So I feel that if I go on a long no salt streak, and then I break it and I have something salty, the next day I feel like I had a hangover. I don't want to feel that. And people may say that when you go on a fruitarian diet, you kind of become more airy and, philosophical or spiritual, whatever that means. Yeah, the esoteric view. Some esoteric traditions view excess salt as increasing material attachment, increasing sensory anchoring, increasing your bodily identification. Whereas fasting, fruit diets, or a low salt diet feels lighter, more subtle, more ascending. This sensation of lightness has both metabolic and symbolic components. Yeah, interesting. Salt and mysticism. Salt is also protective. It preserves, purifies, grounds. So salt is not bad. It stabilizes consciousness. Too little salt, instability. Too much salt, fixation. I do feel this. Like if I go on a long streak of no salt and you're kind of getting woo-woo, then have a little salt. Ground yourself. But be careful. You can have too much salt and get lost and stuck in this material fixation. Yeah. Very interesting. Oh man, I really want to finish this, but it's just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit. Maybe in a little while. I'll leave it here. I'll maybe finish it in a little while. But good. Late night at the supermarket. Let's see what we can buy. All right, if you want some savory dinner as a fruitarian, I think tomatoes classify as a fruit, so let's enjoy some cherry tomatoes. Of course, I would love for rice to be classified as a fruit also, but here are plenty of options. Canned fruit, canned pineapple, canned peaches. We've got dates, sultanas, apricots, dried mango, dried pineapple, dried apple, more sultanas, dried grapes or prunes. Yeah, plenty of options to be a fruitarian on a budget. I just really can't stomach any more bananas. I'm sick of bananas for today, but maybe that'll change. I still have a little bit of leftover smoothie, so might finish that. But yeah, and what would be wrong to have some rice? Like, does that not classify as a fruitarian? I mean, I'm kind of craving celery. Is celery a fruit? Would I, oh, there's no celery. Things like squash. If you're on a fruitarian kick and you're not too keen on a raw fruits dogma, you can maybe get some pumpkin and steam that. That would be a nice little treat. Yeah, maybe we'll grab a little slice of pumpkin and make pumpkin fries. Pumpkin is a fruit, right? You can also get peppers. Peppers are technically a fruit, I think. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, pumpkin slices, mangoes, kiwis. I'm just kind of done with the sweetness for today, but I'll still have something else. And here we are at Fruitarian Heaven. As long as you're you're okay with cooked fruits. Lots of options. And these can be diluted. You can add psyllium husk to it, add some lemon juice, sugar, water, and plenty of options. Also, fruits, which are cooked, can be tomato pulp. You can grab it in a carton or a jar. They do have salt, but according to your preference, you can get like chunky tomatoes. I don't know if corn is technically a fruit. It looks like it. I don't know. Maybe a seed, but you can get some corns. Ooh, these are nice. These hearts of palm, but they're salty, so that they're off the menu. Got some sun-dried tomatoes. Those are tasty, but they're dripped in oil and salt, so they're not too bad. So pretty lean if you drain the oil. 9.5 grams, but compared to something like pumpkin or tomato, this is fried tomato, so no, we're gonna get away from this. But again, not the worst thing. 15 grams per 100. Tomato paste, you know the drill. I've already had some at home, so I think we're good. Our noodles, fruit. But yeah, I'm just doing an experiment, but I'm not one of those very strict fruitarians. You gotta be raw, and vegetables are not fruits, or nuts are not fruits. So do whatever pleases you. This is just an experiment and a way to show you guys that you can be healthy and happy on a budget. Having some cherry tomatoes for dinner. Classic. And we're gonna have pumpkin fries. I think pumpkin is technically a fruit, so Fruitarian on a budget. Thanks for watching.
I'm a level 5 vegan. Carbs, got the fuck up, motherfuckers. Carb the fuck up. Rice, potatoes, yams, bananas, mangoes, steaks, plantains, melons, blueberries, blackberries, and malls. Skip them motherfucking carbohydrates. Go vegan, motherfuckers. Carb the fuck up, the fuck up, the fuck up, the fuck up.
Look at that. Animal-based pasta with 0 grains. Let me show you how to make it. Spaghetti squash. So I cooked the spaghetti squash for maybe an hour at 400 degrees, give or take. Then you just take a fork and look at that. It's like animal-based spaghetti right there.